Hello everyone, myself Virendra Rawat, your chemistry teacher, and today I am in front of you with a new topic of inorganic chemistry, that is group 15 elements. You study all the elements, okay, and the group wise according to the periodic table. But what happens? It becomes very difficult for us to understand the properties. Okay, properties we know are physical properties and chemical properties. So today we are taking physical properties of group 15 elements at a glance. Okay, we can easily understand how the properties are either increasing or decreasing and what is the reason of that. So here you can see this is the topic at a glance, group 15 elements. All the properties I have written here. Now you can see here. This is, first of all, if we are studying any group, we must know that how many, in which period that element comes. Okay, so here you can see these are the name of the elements of group 15. Okay, so first you see nitrogen, then comes phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth. Now we know that nitrogen is in second period. So in front of here I have written here second period. Then phosphorus comes in third period, arsenic is coming in fourth period, antimony, Sp is antimony, it is coming in fifth period, and bismuth is coming in sixth period. So there are 5 elements in group 15. Okay. Now I have written here some numbers. So what is these numbers? Actually in second period there are total 8 elements. So I have written in the bracket 8. This 8 means in group second total number of elements are 8. Similarly here I have written again 8. That means third period also contains number of elements 8. In fourth period 18 elements are present, and in group fifth also 18 elements are present. But in sixth period total number of elements which are present are 32. So this is the period and these are the name of the elements. Now coming to its atomic number. Okay, how to learn the atomic number? Now nitrogen we know its atomic number is 7. Now phosphorus. So how to learn phosphorus atomic number? We will write here 7 and number of total elements are 8 here. Okay, so we will add 8. That means 15 is the atomic number of phosphorus. Now to find the atomic number for arsenic, we will write this 15 and total elements which are present in fourth period is 18. So we will add here 18. 33. Now for antimony we will take this 33 and number of elements present in fifth period is also 18. So we will add here 18. 51. And for bismuth we will again take this 51 and add 32. So in this way we are able to write their atomic number. But atomic mass we know because they are not a whole number. Okay, they are in decimal. So you can just see here atomic mass is also increasing. Atomic number is increasing, atomic mass is increasing. You can see nitrogen is having 14.01, phosphorus is 30.97 and arsenic is 74.92 and antimony is 121.75 and bismuth is 208.98. But remember, whenever we are doing calculation, you can take these atomic mass in whole number also. Now coming to electronic configuration. Okay, electronic configuration means how the elements, how the electrons are distributed in the atoms. Now see here, this is of nitrogen. We know nitrogen have atomic number 7. So its electronic configuration, this is a consolidated form. Instead of writing 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, we can write because 1s2 is the electronic configuration of helium and helium is a noble gas. Okay, so in place of 1s2 we are writing here helium. So helium means 1s2 and then 2s2, 2p3. So total 7 electrons. Now if I want to write the electronic configuration of phosphorus, what we will do? After helium, means these are noble gases. So after helium comes neon. So I will write here neon, and because this is third period, so instead of 2s, now it will be 3s2, 3p3. So if I want to write the complete electronic configuration, I will write here 1s2, 2s2, 2p3 and then 3s2, 3p3. So this neon present this form. Now coming to arsenic. Now we can see that arsenic atomic number is 33. So after helium, neon, another inert gas is argon. So argon we will write here, and now see here. Argon, we will not write here immediately 4s2 and 4p3 because here 3d also starts. So here we will write 3d10 and then we will write 4s2 and 4p3 because arsenic have d orbital also. Okay, neon, this phosphorus is also having d orbital, but here the d orbital is vacant. There is no electron. Now after this, helium, neon, argon, then comes krypton. So again 3d is here, so here we will write 4d10 because now 4d has started. Okay, so 4d10 and then we will write 3d10, then 5s2 and 5p3. So this is the electronic configuration of Sp. Now coming to bismuth. Now how we will write bismuth? After helium, neon, argon, krypton comes xenon. So this is xenon. We will write it in bracket. And before 4d, okay, here F also starts. So we will write here 4F14. And then in place of 4d we will write here 5d. There is no need to write here 3d because 4d we have already written here. So we can write here 5d10. So 4f14 and 5d10 and then 6s2 and 6p3. So this is the way we can write the electronic configuration. Now coming to the next property, that is covalent radii. So covalent radii, two type of radii you are seeing here. One is covalent radii and another is ionic radii. So covalent radii means if we see this is atom and this is its nucleus, and these are the electrons revolving in the orbit. So this distance, the distance of nucleus from this is known as its covalent radii. And for ionic radii also you can understand. Now if this electron is either loses, okay, means metal forms cation. So what will happen? This electron will be given out. So after that, when it forms cation, then that radii will be known as its ionic radii. So this is the difference between covalent radii and ionic radii. In covalent radii we can see that valence electron is present, but in ionic radii this valence electron is donated. In case of metals we are talking. Now here we can see covalent radii. What is happening to covalent radii? Covalent radii is increasing now. Okay, as we are moving down. Now why it is happening? You can see here I have written D and F field. You can see here as we are going downwards, okay, this nitrogen is not having d orbital, but here neon, you can see neon is having d orbital. Maybe that this phosphorus is having d orbital. Maybe this d orbital is not fulfilled, okay, means it is not utilized. And similarly arsenic is also having d orbital, antimony is also having d orbital, and bismuth is also having this d orbital. Okay, so in this way, okay, we need not to write here 3D. So this much you can write here, this is sufficient. 4D 10 and then 5s2 and 5p3. And in bismuth also d orbital is present and f is also present. So we can see that this covalent, why the covalent radii is increasing? Because the atomic number is increasing, and when atomic number is increasing, then d and f orbitals are being filled by the coming electrons. Same way is for ionic radii, but there is a little bit difference. In ionic radii you can see here, this is increasing. From nitrogen, phosphorus and arsenic it is increasing. But then suddenly of antimony it decreases. And then again for bismuth it is increasing. So this is a little bit exceptional you can see here. Now coming to ionization enthalpy. Because we see here p orbital is having 3 electrons. Okay, that means these 3 electrons can be removed. Okay, so ionization enthalpy is 1, 2 and 3. This is ionization enthalpy 1 we can say, this is second and this is third. Ionization enthalpy 1, this means if I am writing it like this means the energy which is needed to remove first electron, and ionization enthalpy 2 means the energy that is needed to remove second electron, and ionization energy 3 means energy that is needed to remove third electron. So what is happening? From 1 to remove first electron, less energy is needed, but to remove second electron, more energy is needed, and to remove third electron, too much energy is needed. So we can say that ionization energy from 1 to 3 is increasing. Why it is increasing? Because in first case it was in atom form, but when from the atom we have removed 1 electron, then what will happen? Now it will convert into ion, and to remove electron from ion needs too much energy, and here it will have 1 positive charge, and to remove third electron it have to remove that third electron from 2 positive charge nucleus. So in this way we can say that ionization energy is increasing from 1 to 3. But when we are moving downwards from nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth, it is decreasing, you can see. Okay, that means for nitrogen it is more, and as we are going down it is decreasing. Now what's the reason? The reason of this decrease in energy is the size of the atom, because what is happening? Atomic number is increasing, and when the atomic number is increasing, what is happening? The valence electron is going far from the nucleus. So as this radii is increasing, means the distance between electron and nucleus is increasing. So what is happening? Less energy is needed to remove that valence electron. So because of the atomic size, and this energy is increasing. Okay, and one is screening effect. To understand screening effect, you can see here. Now what is screening effect? I can see here. Screening effect. Now what is screening effect? Screening effect means, see, this is nucleus, and these are 3p, this is 3p electrons, and this is, we can say this is 2s. 2s is having 2 electrons. Okay, now what is happening? What is happening? You can see here, this is electron and this is nucleus. So nucleus is having positive charge. So this valence electron, this is positive, nucleus is positive, and this is negative. Electrons are negative. So positive is attracting negative electron towards itself. But on the other hand, what is happening? These are electrons, and these electrons are also having negative charge. So 2s electrons are and 3p electrons are repulsing each other. Okay, that means repulsion from the 2s orbital electrons and attraction from the nucleus. So what is happening, as the size is increasing, this repulsion increases and attraction decreases. So this is known as screening effect. Now we will come to the next property, metallic property. Now metallic property, now see what is metallic property. See here, we can see this is nitrogen, and nitrogen we know is a non-metal. This is non-metal. And second, phosphorus is also non-metal. And arsenic is metalloid. Antimony is also metalloid. And bismuth is metal. Now see what we are saying. Metallic character, as we are moving downward, metallic character is increasing from non-metal to metalloids and from metalloid to metal. Why it is happening? Because as we are moving down, this valence electron is moving far from the nucleus and it is becoming easier for the valence electron to be removed. That means cation formation is increasing. So in this way we can say that the metallic properties are increasing as we are moving down the group. Now coming to electronegativity. Now what is electronegativity? Let me explain you first. Now see here, electronegativity. What is electronegativity? Actually, electronegativity means when two elements share different elements, okay, to complete their octet. What happens? The shared pair is used by one of the element. Now I can explain it just like this is hydrogen and this is Cl. How hydrogen chloride forms? Hydrogen have one electron in its outermost orbit and Cl is also having one electron in its outermost, less of one electron. It is having 7 and it is having one electron. So what happens? When HCl form, this shared pair, this is HCl and this is the shared pair. So this shared pair is attracted more towards the Cl and towards hydrogen it is less attracted. So hydrogen gets a little positive charge and Cl gets little negative charge. So this is known as electronegativity. Means when a pair is shared by the electron, by the elements. Okay, when two elements share electrons, okay, one of them share it more than the other, then it is said to be more electronegative than the other. So in this case we can say that hydrogen is less electronegative and Cl is more electronegative. So we can see here that electronegativity is decreasing. Why it is decreasing? Because metallic character is increasing. We can see here, this is the metallic character is increasing, so electronegativity will decrease because metals are able to form cations. Okay. Now coming to the atomicity. Now atomicity, we can say that nitrogen is diatomic. Only nitrogen is a non-metal which is diatomic in this group. All others are polyatomic. About phosphorus we can say it is P4. All are polyatomic. Okay, this is P4. Arsenic is also P4. Okay, so in this way they are known as form polyatomic. Polyatomic means nitrogen is combining with nitrogen with triple bond, but phosphorus and phosphorus atom, both same atoms are combining with single bond. Means here we can say that phosphorus is having single bond, and here nitrogen is having triple bond. So only nitrogen forms diatomic and all others forms polyatomic. Now coming to physical state. So physically we know that only nitrogen is found in gaseous state and rest all are solid. From phosphorus to bismuth all are solid. And density, boiling point and melting point. Because atomic number is increasing, so we can say that their density will increase, their boiling point will increase and their melting point will also increase. And then allotropes. Only nitrogen forms allotropes. And nitrogen don't form any allotropes. There is no allotrope seen of nitrogen. But all others, from phosphorus to bismuth, they have allotropes. Okay. So this is all about your group 15 elements physical properties. Thank you.